Welcome to Advocacy Denver's presentation for parents and guardians on the Special Education Evaluation process. This presentation will provide you information on the Special Education Evaluation process and what you can expect along the way. What is special education? Special education is instruction that is specially designed to meet the unique needs of a child identified with an educational disability. Students identified with an educational disability that requires special education instruction are general education students first. General education teachers and special education teachers work together to support the identified needs of students who receive special education services under an IEP. The ultimate goal of special education is to be as independent as possible and to make progress within the general education curriculum. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, provides that, to the maximum extent appropriate, children with disabilities will be educated with children who are not disabled, and special classes, separate schooling, or other removal of the children from the regular education environment occurs only when the nature or severity of the disability is such that education in the regular classroom with the use of supplementary aids and services cannot be achieved satisfactorily. Students identified with disabilities should enjoy the same access to all educational settings and the general education curriculums as their non-disabled peers. Questions to ask the school team is what can be put into place for your child so that they are meaningfully included within the general education environment and the grade level curriculum. This visual describes the special education process beginning at the pre-referral stage and the steps and timeline until the IEP meeting to determine eligibility. If the child is found eligible for a disability, an IEP is developed and implemented within the school setting. The IEP is reviewed and revised annually, and every 3 years, the child is reevaluated to see if they continue to be eligible for an educational disability. Colorado's multi-tiered system of supports, or MTSS, is defined as a prevention-based framework of team-driven, data-based problem-solving to improve the outcomes of every student through family, school, and community partnerships, comprehensive screening and assessment, and a layered continuum of evidence-based practices applied at classroom, school, district, region, and state level. There is a link on this slide to CDE's Colorado Multi-Tiered System of Supports for more information. Response to Intervention, or RTI, is within the Colorado Multi-Tiered System of Supports. It's a problem-solving process focused on the use of data, evidence-based practices, monitoring students' progress to the instruction interventions to make sure that the child is meeting their post-secondary outcomes. Key features of RTI is a collaborative teaming across all educational systems, including but not limited to general education, special education, compensatory education, and gifted education. There is a clear problem-solving model with steps and routines, a formal and predictable process to build and implement solutions, decision rules based on data from a variety of formal and informal assessment tools, such as curriculum-based measures, diagnostic assessments, observations, screenings, and progress monitoring tools. Schools have developed teams to discuss students who may be at risk of not meeting grade level curriculum expectations and potential interventions to put into place in order to support the needs of the student. Parents should be informed throughout the school year regarding their child's progress on the grade level curriculum expectations and what potential interventions they are receiving. If you have questions regarding your school's response to intervention or multi-tiered system of supports, please reach out to the school administrator for further information. Special education referral can be made at any time if the parent or guardian suspects that an educational disability may exist. If you suspect your child may be eligible for an educational disability, it is best to put that request in writing to the school. When your request is made for your child to be evaluated for special education, this is what's called a referral. IDEA requires local school districts to identify, locate, and evaluate every child that they suspect may have a disability ages 3 through 21. The school may recommend that your child be screened or try different interventions to see how your child responds, to see if they need a full evaluation for special education. If there is a decision made that your child will be following through with initial evaluation for special education, you will receive your procedural safeguards and you will sign consent for that initial evaluation to begin. If the school determines not to do an evaluation, they will provide that decline for an evaluation for special education in what's called a prior written notice, along with a copy of your procedural safeguards. The evaluation process for special education may involve testing, interviews, observations, and a review of the student's academic record of work. You can also provide information from outside medical or other professionals who know your child. Your child will be eligible for special education if he or she meets the definition of one of the disability categories and needs specialized instruction and related services because of the disability. Areas to evaluate are determined by the team and are based on areas of suspected disability and needs identified during the referral meeting and consent for evaluation. You, as the parent and guardian, can ask for what assessments will be utilized in the evaluation process and why those assessments were chosen. If an area was not included in the consent for evaluation, you can ask why that area was not included. If you feel that an area is an area of concern for your child, you can request that the team consider that area in the evaluation process and add that to the consent for evaluation form. Once a parent or guardian has signed consent for that initial special education evaluation, the school's special education team has up to 60 calendar days to complete that evaluation and determine if the student is eligible for an educational disability. Although school special education teams do have 60 days to complete the evaluation process and determine if a student is eligible for an educational disability, they may not need the full 60 days. Feel free to check in with the assigned case manager regarding a potential special education eligibility meeting. Meeting days and times should be mutually agreeable to both you, the parent and guardian, and the school team. If the student has been found eligible for an educational disability, the school special education team has up to 30 days to develop the Individualized Education Program, or the IEP. This slide lists the 13 special education disability categories. Please click on the link that will direct you to the Colorado Department of Education page where more in-depth information is provided regarding each specific category and the eligibility guidelines. What is an Individualized Education Program? An IEP is a plan that is developed by the IEP team, including parents and guardians, that lays out the program of special education instruction, supports, and services the child needs in order to make progress within the general education curriculum and environment. As your child is going through the special education evaluation process, your child's school's special education team is your best resource to support with any questions that you may have. They are there to support you in understanding the process and will be there to provide any special education services should your child become eligible. Open and honest communication is key to building a strong collaborative team that will be supporting your child. Feel free to reach out to them at any time when you have questions or concerns regarding your child's progress. Remember, you know your child best, and you are your child's best advocate. Parents and guardians are the most important member of any IEP team. Thank you for accessing this information regarding the special education evaluation process. Feel free to reach out to Advocacy Denver with any questions that you may have and any support that you may need.